Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 6 of our Knowledge Drop series on the CQ. This week's guest consultant is Sofia Gonzalez. Sofia is a member of Heritage Consulting's network, and she's going to be spending the next few minutes with us sharing her best practices on how we as business leaders can protect and keep our brand promise to our customers, especially as we navigate these difficult times. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce you to her. Sofia, take it away.
It's tough. It's challenging. It's not easy. These are hard times. It's difficult. You have probably heard or uttered one or more of these descriptions recently as you have delivered or have been the receiver of a customer experience in the past few months. I have found myself repeating one or more of these quotes to be able to assimilate more gracefully when a brand promise has not been delivered to me. As I reflected more on it, I was left with one thought. A promise is a promise. Most of my work and life mission is about resonance between a promise and how consistently it is delivered. Today, I'm spending a few minutes with you to point to the consistency of what you promise, and I hope that you will go there. So what do I mean? Well, I have a little story to elaborate. A couple of months ago, I learned that one of the organizations I worked with in the past was opening back up after the quarantine that we endured for a couple of months. Of course, this organization was focused on capturing a bottom line. Insert dollar signs here. This is understandably critical after months of inactivity. There are stakeholders, the customers, the employees, the owners, the senior leaders, all of these. In their focus to recapture some of the losses, they opened their business providing at the time limited operations, limited staffing levels, limited offerings, and at a limited price. Their results were, what do you think? Limited. Limited to say the least. I know it's tough, it's challenging, these are hard times, it's difficult. This example and a few others like it moved me to offer wisdom to anyone I could regarding delivering on a brand promise during these challenging times. Are you ready? Whatever your business is, whatever your organization promises to deliver, this challenging time is where the rubber meets the road, the moment of truth for you. More than ever, your customer will need most assurance that they can deposit trust in your promise. So dare I say, this is no time for excuses. First piece of wisdom, check in on your promise. What do you stand for? What is your commitment to your customer? It may sound too simple to even consider, but I offer that you do consider. In my story of the organization with limited results, part of their promise was to offer an exclusive experience. As they ramped up to come back after the quarantine, their focus on the bottom line with limited offerings may have distracted them from a focus on the exclusivity of the experience. Might there have been a way to preserve the integrity of their promise while achieving acceptable revenues? We will not know without a check on the promise of the brand. Second piece of wisdom, involve your employees. They are the first-hand deliverers of your commitment. They are the closest to the processes, the best practices, the gaps, and the customer in many instances. When was the last time you had a conversation about process improvement with your employees? A question as simple as, what are we doing right? What can we do better? When asked of your frontline support, makes for a dynamic organization well poised to succeed. Engaging your employees, you will find out if they have the necessary tools to deliver on the promise, and you can prepare to provide the necessary support and guidance for success. Third piece of wisdom: courageously identify gaps between your current state and your promise. Many organizations have had to adopt different approaches during these times. Some of these approaches or processes are temporary. We might say that there has been a shift in the standards. Double check your standards. Do not take them for granted. If there is a compliance item that drives your business, check and double check. You do not have to be in the airline business or in healthcare to be focused on compliance. Compliance creates trust, consistency, and all of that fosters loyalty. What are your gaps in delivery? And which of those temporary measures that you have adopted now are worth making permanent? As time goes on, these questions matter. An example of this for me is very personal. I'm very involved in my church community. One of the changes that are temporary to us is how we do meetings with our volunteers and how we conduct our retreats. So these two items are integral to our organization, and the temporary practice of having online meetings is already being considered as possibility for permanent practice in the future. Even if your circumstances have not changed, seek to compare how well you're doing on the delivery of your promise. Question your processes, and once you identify your gaps, be specific in the communication of your objective. Fourth and last piece of wisdom: act with integrity in the moment of choice. You may have heard this quote before, and to me it means, what good are the standards if we are not safeguarding that they are upheld? When you are clear on your promise and how it should be delivered, celebrate and provide positive feedback if the inspected result aligns with your expectation. If the inspection does not align with your expectation, ask yourself, what systems are in place to audit the delivery of your promise? What are the official and unofficial methods of monitoring your performance? The answers to those questions are more relevant now than ever. Despite challenging times, no matter how hard it may be to deliver your promise during these times, a promise is a promise. Making a promise is easy. Keeping it requires a little bit more effort. You are the keeper of your promise. So check and check again. How does your promise resonate with your results?
Sofia, thank you so much for that passionate reminder on the importance of maintaining the integrity of our brand promise to our customers in good times and in bad. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on the CQ this week.